horrified passengers hit record as a man is grabbed and dragged off a United Airlines flight.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 airline scandals.
According to fellow passengers, she was struck in the face after the flight attendant forcibly took her baby stroller and almost hit the baby by accident.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most controversial incidents that crashed airline companies into the depths of infamy. What has been your most outrageous flight experience? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. United breaks guitars. They say revenge is best served in a viral YouTube video.
Now, a musician whose expensive guitar was damaged by United Airlines baggage handlers and who was treated with cold indifference after he complained about it is getting his revenge big time.
Musician Dave Carroll was traveling with his band from Halifax, Canada to Omaha, Nebraska in 2008 when he noticed his equipment being thrown around carelessly. On getting to his destination, Carroll discovered that his $3,500 Taylor guitar had been smashed. For months, he reached out to United Airlines in hopes of getting compensated, but his complaints all fell on deaf ears. Frustrated, Carroll poured his feelings into a song and created a music video that turned into an instant viral hit.
My God, they're throwing guitars out there.
Titled United Breaks Guitars, the clip became a PR nightmare for the airline, with some reports claiming it cost them millions in stock value. However, that claim has since been refuted.
Just like it broke my heart when United breaks guitars.
Number 9. Ryanair's Racy Adverts.
At Ryanair, we love flying you and your family. Wherever you'd like to go, our friendly crew are happy to care for you.
It's pretty important for an ad to be eye-catching, but when it comes to family-friendly companies, more often than not, decency is key. Budget airline Ryanair sure learnt that lesson in 2012 after they ran a national advertising campaign featuring a model decked in only lingerie. The Racy ad was met with a huge wave of criticism, especially from flight attendants who noted that it painted them as glamour models. The airline claimed that since its staff took the pictures of their own volition, they couldn't be interpreted as sexist. But that didn't stop an airline petition against the adverts from garnering more than 5,000 signatures. Eventually, the promotion was banned by the Advertising Standards Authority.
Ryanair, no fares made simple.
Number 8. Leggingsgate.
The reaction on social media, fast and furious. Since when are leggings inappropriate?
The last place you'd expect to be subject to a dress code probably is when boarding a flight. But that wasn't the case for two teenage girls who in 2017 were hoping to fly United Airlines from Denver to Minneapolis. The girls, who both donned a pair of leggings, were refused entry onto the plane because they weren't dressed properly. Another passenger overheard the situation and put out a thread of tweets that quickly went viral.
She's forcing them to change or put dresses on over leggings or they can't board. Since when does United police women's clothing?
Turns out the young ladies were traveling with free passes, available to friends and family members of the airline's employees. As such, they were required to dress a certain way.
The airline told us it has stricter dress code requirements for these non-revenue passengers because they're considered representatives of United. The restrictions for them? No spandex, miniskirts, midriffs, and attire with holes or tears.
Nevertheless, the company received backlash on social media, which was hardly quelled by their explanation of the events.
The airline says, and I quote, "To our regular customers, your leggings are welcome."
Number 7. An argument gets physical.
The flight attendant at the center of a nasty confrontation is under suspension today by American Airlines.
Disagreements between passengers and airline employees are quite common these days, but it's always shocking when things turn violent. In 2017, passengers aboard a American Airlines flight going from San Francisco to Dallas were stunned by a physical altercation between a flight attendant and a mother. During the argument, the employee seemed to have struggled with the woman over her baby stroller before allegedly hitting her with it.
According to fellow passengers, she was struck in the face after the flight attendant forcibly took her baby stroller and almost hit the baby by accident.
A clip of the incident was posted to Facebook by another passenger and received more than 1 million views in a matter of days. In response, the airline launched an investigation into the encounter and suspended the erring flight attendant.
We have seen the video, the airline says. The flight attendant has been removed from duty while we immediately investigate this incident.
Number 6. family kicked off overbooked Delta flight. Brian and Brittany Shear were making a trip from Hawaii to Los Angeles with their 2 toddlers when they were kicked off their Delta flight in April 2017. The couple reportedly purchased a ticket for their 18-year-old son, but as he had returned home on an earlier flight, they decided to put one of the toddlers in the seat instead. This apparently was against the company's policy.
They scanned all of our tickets and let us on the plane.
They say Delta knew this was the plan, but once they were seated, airline employees asked them to give up the seat for another passenger.
They were then told to either give up the seat to someone else or risk being booted off the plane and sent to jail.
Yeah, that's fine.
Federal offense, and then you and your wife will be in jail and your kids will be...
Okay.
Eventually, the entire family was removed from the flight. After a recording of the confrontation went viral on YouTube, Delta apologized to the Shears and offered them refunds and additional compensation.
And Delta telling ABC News this morning that the company is sorry for what this family experienced. They say they'll be talking with them to better understand what happened and come to a resolution.
Wow.
Number 5, British Airways IT System Failure. In May 2017, the UK's flag carrier airline, British Airways, suffered computer crashes that completely crippled their system.
This just shows a failure of British Airways to invest in appropriate infrastructure, and especially on information technology.
As a result, dozens of flights through the Heathrow and Gatwick airports in London were cancelled, leaving more than 70,000 people stranded.
Just got back from Terminal 5, and one police officer described it as absolute bedlam inside.
Although the airline eventually apologised for the disruption and assured passengers that they were dealing with the issue, that didn't stop the airport terminal from descending into absolute chaos.
Travelers herded into lines, stretching far and going nowhere.
None of the staff know what's going on, and they said, "Oh, I don't know, our phones aren't even working, so we haven't been told anything."
The delays, which lasted for days, were chalked up to a power outage by a spokesperson for the airline. However, some groups traced the problems to massive layoffs and outsourcing of IT jobs carried out by British Airways the previous year. Number 4, alleged discrimination by Spirit Airlines. 7 passengers were kicked off a Spirit Airlines flight travelling from Los Angeles to Dallas in November 2015, after being accused of being disruptive. The commotion reportedly began when an African-American couple got into an argument with a flight attendant over a double-booked seat.
An African-American passenger was forced off after a white flight attendant accused them of being a threat.
This resulted in the pair getting removed from the plane. 5 other passengers, all African-American themselves, were also asked to leave after they had spoken up in the couple's defense.
I need your name and your boss's name, along with everybody crew on here.
You have the flight number.
That's when they start saying, and y'all get off, and told the sisters behind you, that all of us get off.
While none of the affected individuals were charged with a crime, at least one of them claimed that the airline's actions were motivated by racial discrimination.
I'm really humiliated just for the simple fact that, you hear about this type of stuff happening in America, discrimination issues and stuff like that, but to actually experience it firsthand, it's an emotional thing to go through.
All passengers were eventually rebooked on another flight the following day. Number 3, Norwegian Air Controversy. In December 2016, just at the end of their time in office, the Obama administration approved a drawn-out permit application for Norwegian Air International. This allowed the Ireland-based subsidiary to operate fully in the United States. The decision generated a polarizing reaction from the aviation industry.
The 3rd largest budget carrier in Europe. And of course, it's got its sights set on U.S. airport locations like Orlando International Airport for direct, non-stop service. And the pilots union says, not so fast.
On one hand, many travel advocates celebrated the approval, calling it a welcome repudiation of protectionist, anti-competitive policymaking. On the other hand, aviation groups in the US deemed the controversial move a threat to American jobs and sued the Obama administration in a bid to overturn it.
This decision is inconsistent with the intent of the United States-European Union Air Transport Agreement and threatens thousands of US jobs by undercutting American wages and working conditions.
In 2018, the decision was upheld by a federal court. Number 2, the bloody outrageous passenger treatment.
Horrified passengers hit record as a man is grabbed and dragged off a United Airlines flight. The reason why he was pulled off is even more shocking.
In recent years, United Airlines has been at the center of multiple controversies, but arguably one of the worst was the 2017 removal of a passenger from an overbooked flight. Dr. David Dow, a physician from Kentucky, was among 4 passengers who were randomly selected to give up their seats for the airline's employees. After he refused, Dow was forcibly dragged off the plane, suffering a concussion and injuries to his teeth and nose in the process.
Oh, this is wrong! Oh my God! Look at what you did to him!
Clips of the incident made it onto the internet and were widely shared around the world, resulting in calls to boycott the airline. In the aftermath, United eventually took full responsibility and came to an amicable settlement with Dow.
Under the terms of the agreement, the settlement will remain undisclosed.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, United CEO resigns.
United CEO Jeff Smisek is out, as are his vice presidents of communications and government affairs.
With 3 other mentions on this list so far, it's no surprise that United Airlines takes our top spot. In 2015, the company's CEO, Jeff Smisek, alongside 2 senior executives, resigned after being placed under a federal investigation. According to authorities, Smisek was being probed over claims that he may have taken advantage of his position to try to sway officials of the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. The airline, at the behest of Smisek, started flying a route from Newark, New Jersey to Columbia, South Carolina, reportedly to favor the former Port Authority chairman.
United set up a private, non-stop flight between Newark and Columbia, South Carolina, where former Port Authority chairman David Sampson had a weekend home.
Although Smisek received no criminal charges, David Sampson, the ex-Port Authority head, was arraigned for soliciting a bribe. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.